Evening all, welcome back to the channel. We are the Brits Decoding America with me, Milo, and Liz.
Evening.
Tonight we're carrying on the second part of 2 for We've Lost Dale Earnhardt 25 years later, the NASCAR movie. We watched part 1, heavy stuff so far.
Yeah.
We saw the crash, though we don't have a lot of details about really what happened, because it doesn't look like it was that big a crash. It just, yeah, quite surprising really.
Which is probably part of it, isn't
that
it?
It went into a fatality, and then, the announcements of it, his son obviously racing as well.
Yeah.
And his son, I guess, carrying on the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated company, I guess. He must race under that name. But
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah, and then Frankie Muniz talking all about it and how it's inspired his career. So that's where we kind of got up to last time.
I didn't realise he was a NASCAR driver, to be fair.
I knew he was.
Yeah, you'd said before,
but
I didn't realise.
But it's really nice to hear how actually that is almost a direct following from his interactions with Dale and the inspiration from Dale.
Even though he said he pretty much only had a 3-minute conversation.
I had 3 minutes with him, but it's 3 minutes that's guided my life. Yeah, what a guy, what an inspiration. Let's get back into it, carry on. This is good stuff.
Get down there to the last lap and you get your front end in there and the guy tries to cut you off, or he tries to do what he can to keep you back there, and you stand your ground. And a lot of times it comes out bad, but a lot of times you win races too. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible.
He was trying to cut me off every way he could.
Oh, and Earnhardt spins him out. Didn't mean to really turn around, meant to rattle his cage over.
To rattle his
Taps him, and around he goes.
Oh.
He was kind of a rough driver. I mean, people knew that, but they loved it. He didn't mind putting a bumper to you and banging you back and forth,
He looks like he could throw a punch as well.
Okay, it's Dale.
Yeah. There's so many Dale
You wouldn't want to get into a fight with him.
being Dale. There's going to be plenty of imitators, but there's only one intimidator.
We all know his fierce, competitive nature. I mean, he was the intimidator. You felt it. And when he made moves, you had to get out of the way.
So this is Kurt Busch. Kyle Busch is the man who died recently.
He was bigger than life. It's like a Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan.
Yeah, they must be a brother pair then. They're both race.
Nervous already, and at Rockingham, on a fresh set of tires, I caught Dale Jr. so fast I just flat out dumped him.
I wonder if Kurt Busch shoved him. It looked like he did.
Got a little help from Kurt Busch, but I know he probably didn't mean to do it, so it's cool. I won't go back out there and try to kill him.
That was messed up. So the next week,
Fighting talk.
Just on my bumper. Oh, I know what I did. I wrecked your son. I was flat out just thought he was just going to dump me and we were going to be DNF and headed home early. So I literally pulled over on the front straightaway. Senior goes by. And then on the back straightaway, he pulls over on the back straightaway and lets me back by. He was pissed.
We call Dale Earnhardt the Intimidator. Here's why. Going down in the corner, Kurt Busch goes in the corner. Earnhardt said, I'm going to show you how to get some out of the way.
He just sat there and wore me out, wanted to sweat me. It was probably the longest 40 laps of my life. He wanted to set the tone of, this is my show, screwed up kid, and you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Oh, look at those people.
I was 22, rookie, on the Daytona 500.
I wonder what the seating capacity is, because the track is huge.
I'm Kurt Busch, driving the number 97 Roush Racing Ford.
Fox's big production day, and everything was so new to me. And here I am, just like, this is kind of cool. It's a fairy tale.
Get your programs! Daytona 500 programs!
February the 18th, 2001, I'm driving for Team Penske. I was super focused myself going into that race, thinking, I don't want to get in one of these bigger ass races
such a
or
good
something
name.
like that again. I want to, hopefully have a clean 500.
Sorry, I'm not going to pause a lot, but Rusty, it makes me think of obviously Cars, the film, the Pixar film.
Yeah. I mean, if you're called Rusty, you're going to have to get into cars in some way, aren't you? It's just
I don't think any guy in the UK has ever been born called Rusty.
No.
It's such a good name.
The 43rd annual Daytona 500 is underway. We're racing.
We had tickets to the grandstand, sort of on the turn one side. It was really cool. I mean, it was going to be a special day. My mom, my dad, myself, we were all there cheering on Kurt.
I remember the
He was 15 years old, so this was
sky
before he
high.
got into
Oh, I
it.
see. So his brother was racing in this.
But I think everybody expected Dale to win the race. They expected him to run up front.
You know, the spotter was making a joke when we were behind the 3-car. If he turns right to go out the racetrack and go get a hot dog, you turn right. Just follow the 3-car.
Kurt Busch is right there with him. That kid's driving a whale of a race. He's hanging right in. And doing a whale of a job.
I was just in the mix with the gang, right? Trying to mind my own business and not do anything too dramatic. We hit doors twice.
Oh, did you see Earnhardt bounce off Kurt Busch there on turn 4?
Dale probably looked over and was like, who is this guy? Oh, it's a rookie that ran into my door. He had to show him his displeasure and tell him he was number one.
There it is.
What was that?
Number 1.
And then I see his middle finger out the window.
Oh.
Man, what did I do again?
I missed it. We've got to go back.
Tell him he was number one.
Oh, they blurred it. They blurred it.
You're number 1.
And then I see his middle finger out the window. I'm like, man, what did I do again? I'm like, dude, I can't just do anything right around this guy. Like, I keep like stepping on my toes right in front of him, and I never did get to talk to him about it. Never did get to clear the air.
This crowd is on their feet. They want to see the finish of the Daytona 500. They'll look at the white flag.
Last lap, I come off at turn 2, and I had a good draft off the cart in front of me. I won from maybe 8th or 9th, all the way up to 3rd. And I remember him shooting across the front of me, going up and hitting the wall, and the first thing crossed my mind was, oh man, he is going to be so mad. I'm like, I've seen a lot of wrecks like this. I didn't think it was enough to be the last time I'd see Dale.
No,
This was so
What I
strange.
remember was there was a big screen that showed Kenny Schrader get out of his car and walk over to Dale's car, and Kenny like waving to the safety workers, hey, come on over here, need your help. That was the worrisome moment right there where it was like, this one was different.
It's a dangerous sport, man. Accidents happen, crashes happen. None of us ever thought that the immortal Dale Sr. would go out that way. This person's larger than life. He's a superhero. Like, we lost Elvis.
Dale and I had boats side by side at the chart house, and we were going to meet back at the boat that night and talk about how the 500 went. I sat on the boat and I looked over at his boat, and there was nobody there. I had no idea that when he hit that wall, that'd be the last time I'd see Dale Earnhardt.
It's like the sport stopped. None of us knew where we were going. None of us knew what we were supposed to do next. It felt like all of us were lost puppies without an owner.
You know, I've always said when I'm tired of getting in the race car, I think I have second thoughts about getting in it and want to be doing something else, want to be somewhere else. You know, that may be the time. I don't know when the time's going to be. I don't know how I'm going to know it. Probably just won't have the desire to go out there and do it anymore. It's when I probably want to retire, and that's probably going to be when I'm about 85. Who knows?
When Dale passed, I feel like there was a huge void there that I don't know that ever really got picked back up. There was just a way that Dale did stuff on the track where it was like, damn, you know, I wish I could do that.
Look, these drivers are great nowadays. They really are. I mean, you look at some of the talent they got out there, it's incredible. But there's nobody ever going to match Dale or Earnhardt. Just my opinion. And you know what? I know I'm right.
Kyle Busch gets into the back of it. Larson stays in the gas.
Kyle Busch racing back to the line, and Kyle Busch will score the win.
I've made moves that have been, you know, sort of sketch or whatever, and I've come out of it, and I've won, or I've made a cool pass or something like that, and it's like, oh yeah, that's Dale, you know. I could see a few of those times where it's like, oh hell yeah, like that's Dale Earnhardt, that's badass, you know. And there's other times when it's like, no, it's not the same.
It's going to take 5 guys, I think, to add up to one Dale Sr. You know, you got qualities from Tony Stewart, or he wouldn't take BS from anyone.
Well, Tony, what angered you at the end of the race? What did you take issue with?
What the hell do you think I was mad about? I'm gonna bust his ass.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
You know, my brother would outcraft you. Dale Jr. had the same prowess on the super speedways. I think it takes a handful of guys. The things that Senior did, there's a lot of drivers out there that emulated his moves, but you can't duplicate the Intimidator.
Why would you want to do something that you know darn well could turn around and bite you, could kill you?
I never wanted to do anything else.
Much has been made about driver safety this week, given the loss of Dale Earnhardt. The Hans device, there are at least 6 or 7 drivers that are wearing that in this race.
The drivers, the wives, the families, the crew chiefs, they ought to be the ones that saying, you're not getting in that car unless you put this on.
It used to be uncommon to hear racers talking about safety issues. It was a form of denial. But times have changed.
My dad was around a lot of guys getting hurt or killed in the sprint car world through the 80s and 90s.
Dave Blaney, World of Outlaws sprint car veteran, his second Daytona 500.
It was told to me early in my life that, hey, what I do is dangerous. And he always was just dumbfounded why the safety wasn't better than what it was.
There's no question this is a very difficult time that NASCAR has lost its greatest driver ever.
At the time, I was 10 years old. My parents were like, whoa, wait a minute, this is dangerous. And, you know, you start hearing about these head and neck restraints and stuff going into NASCAR. You know, I lived in Atlanta, and that's where they were building the Hans device, and they didn't have one for kids.
Sorry, I didn't know whether to pause that or not, but I wanted to say, when he was making the TV announcement, the public announcement of we've lost Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
He goes on and he says, we've lost the greatest NASCAR driver ever.
Yeah.
You imagine saying that about any other sports, like Formula One, for instance. If one of the drivers died there, you couldn't necessarily just be like, oh, we've lost one of the greatest ever, because there's so many different opinions about who the greatest ever.
And also, I think it goes through phases. Michael Schumacher was always one that's always been up there.
Yeah.
But now, like in his day, he doesn't sort of spanned out across generations.
No, and there was
Lewis
Senna,
Hamilton. Everyone's
Lewis
gone,
Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton's the best ever.
Yeah, but I don't think you could say unquestioningly that they were absolutely unbeatably the best and had the legacy of the sport.
That's what I mean. It was sort of their time, not like they're still saying.
Whereas
he's
saying
now,
this is the greatest driver that's ever been to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite something to have the cup. And it sounds like he had tons of cup championships and things like that. So fairly unquestioningly, it's like it's like they say, it's like losing Elvis.
So I went there, and they molded it off of my neck, my shoulders, their first child's Hans device, right after Dale's death. That moment really just kind of spurred all this development.
The
So it was his
safer
neck then,
barrier,
was it?
steel and foam energy reduction barrier.
You saw the safety stuff just immediately ramp up.
Head and neck restraints are mandatory, effective immediately.
Take your pick, whether it's the Hans, belts, seats, racetracks, car safety. They just keep building off of each other, and I think they've saved a lot of lives.
Oh, goodness.
Luckily, when I got into Cup, a lot of those advancements were already there.
Joey Logano is around.
Oh.
Wheel barreling down the back straightaway. End over end, side over side.
The wreck that killed Dale Earnhardt has happened many times since, maybe even harder.
Oh, big to the wall hard goes Ryan Blaney. What a shot he took.
Yeah, I guess he's right. The introduction of the neck brace must have saved so many lives over the years.
To Dale, and I was fine. I think it just shows how far we've come, where you can take identical wrecks and can walk away from things like that.
The legacy of Dale Earnhardt lives on in so many ways. who he was.
It's a shame it
and
takes
the
something
legend of
like the
sport
death of a
as
great
competitor.
to reinforce that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We won it, we won it, we won it.
And all these really awesome, badass things. But it also lives on in the safety side of our sport because no one's forgotten about that day. And nobody ever wants to see that happen again.
It's easy to look back on these things like, well, this should have been in place and that should have been in place. It's unfortunate that tragic things happen to where then it progresses. But back then, like, you didn't know what you didn't know.
I don't think the process of continually looking for improvements from the safety side has ended since Earnhardt's crash. Like, that is a journey that will always have to continue.
Talking to guys who were around the sport for a long time, you know, they would always talk about, well, we didn't used to do it this way, and we found all these things to make it better, and this is why we do it this way. And I don't think the rush for driver safety would be what it is today if Dale wouldn't have passed away.
So if I can just get a little bit of room, thank you.
The title of this documentary is We've Lost Dale Earnhardt, Your Words. Most people think about what we lost that day, but what did we gain from Dale's life?
When you get to my age, you buried a lot of friends and you buried a lot of family.
The classics are so cool.
As dearly as you loved them, and as hurt as you were when they passed away, they live inside you by their memories. That's a good feeling. I like the idea of thinking about somebody like Dale Earnhardt every day.
Welcome to my office. I'm glad y'all could be here. This is where I work every day.
What Dale's given us is not even measurable. He was a catapult for our sport, made it mainstream. He's still like number 3 or 4 merch sales today. He still has way more t-shirts than me.
That's mad, isn't it?
That is incredible.
Race fans are the greatest people in the world.
Dale Earnhardt definitely has, still to this day, probably one of the most devoted followings.
You see people driving down the road with 3s on their car. Who the hell is driving around with a freaking 12 on their car? Nobody. We got thousands of people out there with 3s that they spray painted on their car.
Oh, I love it.
I go on college campuses every weekend covering college football. I got these kids who were born at least 5 years after Dale's death, holding up beers and throwing up 3s and looking at me going, raise hell, praise Dale.
Dale has left a piece of iconic culture in our DNA that will perpetuate itself.
I mean, every time I go into a parking deck, I park on the 3rd floor. 3 for Dale, right? I mean, everybody says that.
3!
Thanks for watching Do It for Dale. Thanks for watching Do It for Dale.
He's still known as Dale Earnhardt, the badass of all badasses, to people that don't even know who he is. That guy was the real deal.
What we've gained from Dale Earnhardt is a 2-part answer. Number one, we gained being able to see this is as good as it can possibly be done. And then the second part of that is now we have racers who can try to do that, who can push that car as far as the laws of physics will allow. And if they break one of those laws, they're going to walk away. Anyone who tries to act like we've wrapped everyone in bubble wrap, you know what? The hell with y'all. Because you weren't covering funerals, and you weren't burying friends, and this idea of it's not as tough as it used to be, damn right it's not, and I never wanted to go back to that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that is not good. That is not good.
Oh.
What an incredible sight to see Austin Dillon walking away from that 3 car that is demolished, and the crowd roars.
We've not buried a single race car driver in NASCAR's top 3 series since February 18, 2001. And I always say that reluctantly because I never want to change that sentence.
This is undoubtedly one of the toughest announcements that I've ever personally had to make.
fans that are of my age will remember that day. Exactly where they were, what they were wearing, and what their life was like on that moment.
We've lost Dale Earnhardt.
You know, it was 1 year later, then it was 5 years later, now all of a sudden it's 25 years later. You remember that day like it was last week.
You know, every year on his birthday, there's still fans that stop over there on Highway 3 and, you know, drop off flowers at the DEI building.
The loss of Dale Earnhardt had a collective impact on the psyche of the NASCAR family more than people really talk about. He was the intimidator. He was indestructible. He was the least likely guy to be killed in a race car. And in an instant, all of us realized how fragile life really is.
There are only a few people that transcend time. It's Elvis. It's Heath Ledger. It's James Dean. It's Marilyn Monroe. Losing them earlier than we expected to lose them turns them into an even bigger figure than they could have been had they still been with us.
His accolades were magnified with his death. Passing away in the final corner of the Daytona 500 with your son and your other car that you own out front. Can't even make up a script like that. And that's what makes him larger than life, and it will be for centuries.
Yeah. His son must be
Sometimes
so proud
the
of his
myth
legacy as
him
well.
Yeah, I mean,
overrides, you know, the reality of him, and the reality of him, to me, is better than the myth.
I can have all kind of problems, and people say, "What doesn't it bother you on the racetrack? You think about it on the racetrack?" I think about beating the guy in front of me or behind me.
Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt takes the checkered flag.
He really was a self-made hero. His personality was authentic.
That's what it's called, I asked you.
He was not playing a role. That was really Dale Earnhardt. We've lost so much authenticity, and I think that's what resonates the most.
One day, there might be someone, that kid we look at and go, that's the next Dale Earnhardt right there, might actually be that. But you know what? My inclination is that we'll never see it again.
His name will always be around. As long as that fan that loved him that much is still alive.
None of us will have the legacy that Dale Earnhardt has 25 years from now.
I hope when 25 more years go by, we're still talking about Dale and what he meant to the sport. And I think that's the most important part. Even though they're gone, they're still here.
Yeah, for sure.
You lose them, but they're not lost.
Yeah, his son must be so incredibly proud of that stretching legacy continuing all the way through.
Quite sad though that he doesn't know the impact that he's had. And the thinking that, you know, can you imagine, like, I don't know, because you wouldn't know, but people are like number 3s on their cars, and you know, it's been 25 years.
Yeah, and as he says, people that weren't alive when he died, getting tattoos of him and things like that.
Yeah.
But
it's insane, isn't it?
I get it.
In a great way.
The greats are the greats, and our childhood heroes and everything.
Well, I mean, I suppose you look at James Dean. You know, people my age had posters of James Dean on their walls. I used to love James Dean. Like they were saying, they transcend time, don't they?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. I think so. I had quite a lot of racing posters up and whatnot when I was a kid, because my dad used to race.
I was going to say you would do, because your dad, yeah.
And whatnot. And Ayrton Senna, I can see his face on the screen there. My dad actually raced with him once when he was racing his junior leagues and things like that. So I know that when he died, my dad was a bit like, "Oh, I just raced with him." Like,
yeah.
Like it was years before Ayrton Senna's crash, but and it's a similar sort of thing,
isn't it?
So that was heavy stuff.
Yeah.
It was heavy stuff, but
I'm glad we watched it though, and we learnt about him.
Yeah,
it's understandable now why there were so many people in the comments.
Absolutely. I mean, his legacy is incredible, and the inspiration to, it would seem, not just not just like people, but basically the whole of NASCAR lives on the back of his legacy as well. Almost like all the drivers run from that inspiration.
Do you know what would be interesting in a way is to watch some of his races, or sort of the
classic
compilation
races,
to appreciate just how.
See if we can find that'd be interesting.
Just to appreciate
see his
how
like
good
best
he was.
overtakes and things.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
And as well as that, I think, given other comments as well, and we've seen him in this video, Kyle Busch having passed away recently, people saying he was one of the greats as well for his time racing, and so I think definitely next up we'll do a deep dive on Kyle Busch when we get the time as well, because I think that'd be cool to see.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
Thanks all for joining us.
Yes, thanks.
Give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you again.
See you next time.
Cheers. Bye bye.